The Black Flag remake has finally appeared, but isn't the game you will remember. Ubisoft has officially revealed the gameplay for their remake, now titled Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. And they have changed almost everything, from the game engine to the combat. The result is a ground-up rebuild on the same technology that powered Assassin's Creed Shadows. The changes go far beyond a simple coat of paint, touch every core system. So are they resurrecting a classic, or have they created a completely different game in disguise? We are diving into the technical details, the gameplay overhauls, and the story changes to see if this is the definitive version of the party fantasy we have always wanted, or something else entirely. Let's start with the foundation, because it's informing every other change. Resynced is built using the last version of the Anvil engine, incorporate technology from Assassin's Creed Shadows. This isn't just marketing speak for better graphics, this changes the rules of the game. The scenery isn't just prettier, it works in a whole new way. A deep dive from Ubisoft highlights two key technologies, a micropolygon geometry system and the Anvil Atmos for dynamic weather. The micropolygon system is Ubisoft's answer to Unreal Engine. In the original 2013 game, you had often see lower qualities model for building and trees in the distance, which would visibly pop into higher details as you get closer. With this new tech, those jarring visual shifts are gone. So what does that actually mean for you? It means the developers can use film quality assets, and the engine itself scales them in real time. The results are a road that should feel incredibly solid and consistent, from the first vista to the wood grain on the deck of the Jackdaw. Then there's Anvil Atmos. This isn't just a prettier weather system, it's a procedural simulation where weather and wind are affected by factors like temperature and humidity. This means the storms aren't just scripted events anymore. They are dynamic occurrences that will affect the road procedurally. Trees will sway, Edward's heart will move, and importantly, the waves of the Caribbean will be more unpredictable and terrifying than ever. Combined with ray-traced global illumination, which allows for realistic light bounce, the Caribbean is poised to feel less like a stunning backdrop and more like a living, breathing character in the story. This engine's choice confirms that Resynced isn't a remaster, it's a completely technological reconstruction from the ground up. One of the most debated aspects of the classic Assassin's Creed formula was always the modern-day storyline. In Black Flag, this took the form of first-person exploration of the Abstergo entertainment offices. For some, it was fascinating meta-narrative. For others, it was an unwelcome interruption of the pirate fantasy. Ubisoft has made a definitive choice with Resynced. The modern-day gameplay sections have been completely removed. According to creative director Paul Fu, this decision was made to avoid creating a jarring experience for new players. However, this isn't just a simple remove. In its place, something new has been added. The original lead writer, Darby McDavid, returned to consult on the project and helped write new scenes for the remake. Reports confirm this new material amounts to roughly 6 to 8 hours of new content, moving directly into Edward's core adventure. This new content aims to expand the story of beloved characters like Blackbird and Stede Bonnet, give them dedicated story arcs. Adewale also receives a more significant role in the main story, to compensate for the absence of the Freedom Cry DLC, with his original voice actor return. Furthermore, a brand new endgame chapter has been added, titled A World Without Gold. McDavid also helped pen a new scene that adds more weight to the story's final moments. So while the Abstergo's employee is gone, the time saved is being reinvested directly into Edward's journey, promising a deeper narrative. With the modern day gone, the focus shifted entirely to what really matters, being an assassin in the past. And that's where Parkour and Stealth comes into play. If there was one area where Black Flag felt like a step back, it was in defining control of its assassin. The parkour was fluid but overly automated, and the stealth was often situational. Resynced tackles this complete handle with a completely overhaul, aiming to restore the feeling of being Presti's methodical killer. Let's start with movement. A dedicated manual crouch button is now available anywhere, No longer are you reliant on conveniently placed bushes to enter a stealth stance. The single change is monumental, but it's just the beginning. The parkour system has been rebuilt to bring back the controls and precision of the series' golden age. With confirmed mechanicals like manual jumps, side ejects, and back ejects, this allow for spark directional changes and skillful escapes, a far cry from hold forward to win free running of the original. This new philosophy extends directly into the stealth system. The game now incorporates a proper light and shadows visibility system, making the time of day and your position relative to light sources critical. Social stealth has also been expanded, allowing Edward to once again blend into groups of civilians to disappear in plain sight. Perhaps the most universally praised change will be the redesigning of the infamous tail and Eva's drop mission. In the original game, these were often exercised in frustration with instant fail states. It's been confirmed that these missions have been redesigned to be far less punishing. Getting spotted might now branch the mission into a combat encounter or an alternate objective, rather than forcing a hard reset. This addresses one of the single biggest complaints levied against the original game. The original Black Flag's combat was undeniably stylish, a perfect part power fantasy. However, it was also mechanically simple. The counter to win loop, while satisfying, lacked depth. For Resynced, Ubisoft is throwing that system overboard. The combat has been completely rebuilt around a more deliberate time-based system heavily inspired by the mechanics of Assassin's Creed Shadows and games like Sekiro. Gone is the instant counter kill. Instead, combat now revolves around a parry-driven system where time is everything. Perfectly timed parries will open enemies up for devastating follow-ups. Enemies now have a defense bar that must be broken down through a combination of parries, heavy attacks, and kicks before you can land a finishing blow. This change fundamentally alters the flow and feel of every sword fight. The enemy eye has also been made more sophisticated, and is set to adapt to repetitive tactics, forcing you to vary your approach. Executions are no longer a default outcome, but are earned by strategically breaking an opponent's guard. This new system promises a much higher skill ceiling and a more engaging challenge, transforming combat from a rhythmic spectacle into a tense synthetical duel. For the last decade, the phrase new Assassin's Creed game has often been synonymous with open-world RPG. The introduction of leveling system and damage stats in Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, Mirage and Shadows created a deep divide within the fanbase. One of the biggest fears around a Black Flag remake was that it would be retrofitted with the same mechanics. This is perhaps the most important point. Ubisoft has been crystal clear that Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is not an RPG. Pre-release coverage and developer interviews have repeatedly stressed that it's a faithful remake that sticks to the original's action-adventure roots. What does this mean in practice? While there will still be unlockable weapons and upgrades for the Jackdaw, the core experience has been deliberately walled off from the series' RPG trajectory. You will not perform a perfect stealth assassination only to see a fraction of enemies' health bar disappear because your level is too low. The focus is on player skill, not on grind for better gear. This is a conscious decision to preserve the soul of the original game, and for fun asking for a return to the classic formula. This might be the single most important piece of news. So, is the Black Flag remake the game we thought it was? No. It's something far more ambitious. This is not the simple visual remaster many expected, but a ground-up reconstruction of 10-year-old classic. Ubisoft has systematically identified most every major complaint from the original: automated parkour, simplistic stealth, repetitive combat, and frustrating missions, and has invested heavily in modern solutions. The decision to build it in a powerful Anvil engine provides a stunning new foundation, while removing the modern-day gameplay, allows for a tired narrative on Edward's journey, expanded by the original writer himself. The restoration of enhanced parkour and stealth, making him feel more like a true assassin, and the completely combat overhaul promises a challenge the original never offered. By explicitly rejecting the RPG path, Ubisoft is making a statement: This is for the fans of classic Assassin's Creed. Some sacrifices were made. The fan-favorite multiplayer isn't returning, and the Freedom Cry DLC has been left behind. Though Otherwall's expanded role is a welcome consolidation. But this seems like focused cuts designed to create a pure, polished and definitive single-player pirate adventure. Black Flag Resynced isn't just the game you remember. It's shaping up to be the game many of us wished we could remember, with the friction of 2013 sending you away. But now I want to know what you think. Are you excited about this deeper, more complex version of the Black Flag? Do you think the new combat system is a welcome challenge? Or will you miss the simple flow of the original? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want. And thank you to watch until the end. See you in the next one!